everyone. I'm Dara Victoria. Welcome to Tag Show with Dara. Please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel for more godly content. God bless you. We'll be answering 4 questions on this show today. The first question is, who is God the Son? The second question, how can a person remain faithful to God? The third, if you love God, what is the best thing you can do for Him? Then the fourth question, how can you stay committed and consistent to the things of God? Thank you. Here with me today. Okay, so we'll be going by the first question, who is God the Son?
Okay, I would say that God the Son is God personified in a man's form. We got to a point whereby man needed a savior. After the fall of the first man, man lost his position in God. So there is a need for someone higher than a man, or someone who is more perfect than a man, to reconcile man back to God. And that is the place of God the Son. This is God leaving the original state of a God and trying to take up the state of a man, coming in human form to salvage man and save man from impending doom that is befalling man. So I think that is the person of God the Son.
Alright. So the second question, how can a man remain faithful to God?
Okay, how can a man remain faithful to God? A man can remain faithful to God, first of all, when a man loves God.
Yeah.
That is the first point. So when you love God and you are deliberate about Him, so everything about Him will be as utmost priority to you. So everything about Him is what will be driving you. Everything about Him that, provided it brings glory to His name, is what you want to do. It's what you be deliberate. So that is how a man can be faithful to God, or anybody can be faithful to God. When you see the things of God and you love God for God, and you don't love God with any attachment, with any sentiment, with any reason, with any expectation, you just love Him for Him. So you are just deliberate about Him. So that's one of the ways that you can love God faithfully, and that's how one of the ways you can love God and you can be faithful to God. I think that's it.
Okay, so in order to remain faithful to God, we have to have in us the love of God.
Yeah.
So through the love of God in our hearts, we remain committed and faithful to God.
Yes.
Alright, the third question, if you love God, what is the best thing you can do for Him?
I think the best thing you can do for God if you love God is sacrifice. Yeah, sacrifice in the sense that every love, if you want to discuss love in general, sacrifice must be involved. So God gave us a perfect example by showing His love for us by giving His only begotten Son. He sacrificed His only begotten Son for the salvation of mankind. So one of the ways you can prove to God, show that you love God is one, first of all, you have to, like I said, sacrifice your time, your resources, everything about you. Just have to be able to willing to sacrifice and keep it at His feet. So just like the case of Abraham in the Bible, we know that Abraham walked with God and then waited for the promise of God for 25 years.
Yeah.
So, and within that period of 25 years, we did not hear anywhere in the Bible that God gave any recommendation of maybe trust to Abraham, until maybe when Isaac was 13 years old, and Abraham has now worked with God for 38 years. When God asked him to sacrifice Isaac, and when he carried that double step, that's when we had in the Bible that God said, Abraham, now I know that you fear the Lord. So he carried that act of sacrifice. So God was still watching His love for him. Okay, he can compromise tomorrow, but for him to go to that length of sacrifice, God now had to acknowledge that truly, Abraham loves me. Abraham has respect for me. Abraham fears me. That's why he said, Abraham, now I know. After 38 years of Abraham working with God, that means for the past 30 years that Abraham was working with God, God was still placing him on the scale. Okay, let's be going. Let's watch how this thing turns out. Okay, let's watch where this leads until when Abraham made that good step of sacrifice. And I said, Abraham, now I know. And look at Jesus Christ. Jesus is someone who loved the Father. If you look at the Bible, we always talk about the Father, we always make reference to the Father. Now, in the account of baptism, God said, this is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Now, why did God make that confession? Jesus Christ accepting to come alone was enough sacrifice to God, and that's why I said, okay, for this reason, you are my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. So I think one of the ways you can show God or express your love for God is by sacrifice.
Okay. Expressing the love of God through sacrifice. Well, we can also sacrifice. We can sacrifice God through our lifestyle, through the way we live our life, and through the things we do for God. Are you serving God wholeheartedly, or are you just serving Him to be recognized? So the best thing you can do to show that you truly love God is to sacrifice everything you have for Him, including your life and the way you live your life. Alright, the fourth question: how can you stay committed and consistent to the things of God?
Okay, one of the ways you can stay committed and consistent to the things of God, first of all, it takes me back to, I think, the second question. One of the ways is being deliberate. When you are deliberate about it, when you have God at heart, like you want to do everything possible to please Him. Just like our parents now, for example. Now they can go as far as discomforting themselves to make sure that they are happy. And they do this thing consistently without complaining. They don't complain. They are just doing it. That is usually their expression of love for us. So if one of the ways you can stay consistent is when you are deliberate. When you are deliberate about the things of God. If we should place 10 children here and there is a mother outside, now other children can be crying. She might not make much effort. But when her child cries, she knows that this is my child. And she would spring into action to know what is making her child cry. Why? Because she was deliberate about that child. All her attention focused about that child. So that's why you must be deliberate about God and the things of God. And that's what the way you make consistent. When you are deliberate, nobody is forcing you, nobody is compelling, nobody is telling you do it. You are not expecting maybe a pay, like a normal job or a reward at the end of the day. You are just doing it as a form of sacrifice, or you are rendering a service to God. So that's one of the ways you can then work with God consistent. And then the second one is when you get reasons. But sometimes it's not necessarily important to wait for reasons to be consistent. Now what I mean by reasons in the sense that you might get to a crossroad in your life where you look at your left, right, front, back, up and down, and you see that it's not just the help is not just coming from anywhere. And then all your attention is now, God, it's only you that can do this. Now when you get to that point and God solves that problem, it's very rare for you to go back and not follow suit and pursue God and the things of God. Now that's if you notice how Jesus called all his disciples. He gave them reasons that made them left. One of them were engaged in their profession. They had things they were doing. But at Jesus' first point with them, he always give them a reason that will make them leave whatever they are doing to follow him. Now look at the call of Peter. They were in the book of Luke chapter 5 from verse 1 to 8. So the Bible says that Peter toiled all through the night and he never caught anything. Now, Jesus did not come immediately and say, "Oh, yeah, follow me." Jesus only say, "Okay, let me to your boat." And after using the boat, Jesus does say, "Oh, yeah, you are afraid me preach the word of God. And the Messiah, follow me." No. Jesus said, "Okay, oh, yeah, cast your net into the sea." And being that this man has toiled through the night, and that when he now caught, when he had a big catch, he was now like, "Okay, bye, if you're the man." That was when Jesus now said, "Okay, now I will make you fishers of men, not just a man that will catch fish." So I look at Nathaniel. Nathaniel was like, "I can only put in that I think that should be Philip also. You can only put him come out of Nazareth." But Jesus told him, "I saw you under a tree." And I was like, "Wow, how do you know me?" So almost all the disciples that Jesus called, he met them at a point of duty and he gave them reasons to follow him. So what we have, I discovered that none of them, apart from Judas that fell out on the way, none of them went back from that journey they took. They were consistent till the very end. As much as most of them died in very dramatic and painful, but they were still consistent even to their last breath. So whenever you get reasons to serve God, like it will help you to be consistent, to help you to remain faithful in your work with Him. Like so, I think that's it.
Alright. So how we can stay committed and consistent to the things of God? First is by being deliberate, and secondly is by seeing reasons why we cannot just turn back or turn down, but we just have to keep being in the presence of God and keep doing the things that please God and keep being consistent and committed to God. For example, okay, to me, I believe I am totally nothing without God. Before I could get that knowledge of being totally nothing without God, I kind of had a lifestyle that was not pleasing to God. And it got to a position or a time whereby I saw that in this kind of situation, I can't come out of it except if God helps me. And God being faithful, God being merciful, bringing me out of darkness into His marvelous light. I won't want to go back into that darkness, because I know if I should leave the presence of God and if I should leave being committed and consistent to the things of God, I will become even worse than I was even before God brought me into His marvelous light. So, being deliberate. You don't have to wait till when there's a problem before you start being consistent or committed with the things of God. And if it's after a problem happened and God saved you from it, you don't have to run back to sin or run back to the darkness you were in before just because you are saved now and there's no problem. Just keep staying there. Keep being consistent. Keep being committed. Because even the devil is watching out, looking at you to know if you're going to derail or not. And if you derail from the path of God that you are now, things will get even worse than how it was before you entered into the marvelous light of God. Alright, so being deliberate and being consistent and being consistent with the things of God.
And I mean reasons, when you see reasons to be consistent with God. And there's something you mentioned that, okay, I want to maybe kind of talk about. In as much as the devil is not a factor, and nobody expects anything good to come out from the devil, but there's actually a good quality that the devil has. And one of that quality is he never gives up. So he always sees possibility that, okay, he can bring a man down. So even if you block him through this channel, you want to come to another position, you want to come to another point. So he always sees reason that, okay, there's possibility in me bringing this man down, no matter how holy or spiritual you are. So that's one good quality about the he never gives up. So in the same way to as children of God, let's not give up on God. Maybe in our work with Him, possibly because maybe we're expecting a particular result and we are not seeing it. Like, okay, well, let's try that option. God is not coming fast. No. You just have to be consistent with Him. Yes. And being consistent with God, there are benefits to it. There are some things He will prevent from coming your way.
Sure.
Why? Because He knows that, okay, if anything should happen to you, okay, there's nobody that may fill that gap. Now look at the case of Hezekiah, when God told him that he was going to die. Now, Isaiah was one prophet that his words never fall to the ground. Isaiah was one prophet that gave the accurate prophecy about the coming of Jesus Christ, both his death, the reason of his coming, his purpose, and everything. Isaiah was a prophet, and then Isaiah came and told this man that they are going to die. And this man said, oh, God, no, I cannot die. And he gave reasons. Why? Because he has been consistent with God. He has never breached his walk with God. And God had to send Isaiah back to go and tell him that, okay, you no longer die. And I think it was after that encounter that God now made a statement and said that from today henceforth, any words that come out of my mouth cannot come back without fulfilling the purpose which he came back. Why? Because a man of consistency in his walk with God was able to alter the decree of the highest monarch of the universe. So I think that is it.
Even the Bible says that God values His word.
Yeah.
Alright, thank you so much for listening. God bless you. I hope you were blessed. Keep liking, commenting, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't. God bless you.